spots are concerned. I believe there are a total of 10 teams currently involved in the playoff picture in the AFC. That's right, there are 10. Pittsburgh is the only one that is in the playoff situation in the AFC. And the rest, it's just a scramble, isn't it, John?
Well, I think when you start getting down to ifs, ands, and buts, you've got a whole can full of nuts in this case, and I think we're better just leaving it. If you're taking a look at it from a New York Jet viewpoint, it's very simple. Win the next 2 games, and we've got an excellent chance of getting in the playoffs. If you're on Cleveland's side, just do as well as you can, pal. Be as respectable as you can this year. If all kinds of things broke loose, we might even get a share of it. So I think they just quit figuring it out and are playing, and that's the feeling I get here today.
Wasn't it Tom Landry of the Dallas Cowboys who said, if we make the playoffs, they'll call us and let us know?
I don't think you have to worry too much about it. The players know their situations, but you can't concern yourself. You know, early in the game, the time of possession was all on the Browns side. They had the lead. They had about 11 minutes out of the first quarter in possession time. The game sort of evened up as it went along. They're almost even right now, and I think it's why the Jets are back in the ball game. If their defense is up to it, I think their offense will get some points.
Cleveland 17, the Jets 10 as we start the second half. Pat Leahy will be kicking off for New York with Keith Wright and Larry Collins, the deep backs on the return for the Cleveland Browns. Second half is underway, and here comes Keith Wright. And he'll return outside the 35-yard line. Now, let's look at the offense of the Cleveland Browns. Brian Sipe, Greg Pruitt, Cleo Miller. That's the backfield.
Same people, all playing well.
Dave Logan, Reggie Rucker, Ozzie Newsome, the receivers. You'll also see Keith Wright in as a wide receiver. And there's the offensive line. Doug Deacon, Henry Shepard, Tom DeLeon, Robert E. Jackson, Barry Darrell. Cleveland has the ball officially at their own 34-yard line, first down. Greg Pruitt, Cleo Miller, running backs. Greg Pruitt, Miller with a block. Springing Pruitt loose. Great block by Cleo Miller.
I mean, to tell you, the offensive line for Cleveland has started out strong. Now the right side, Robert E. Jackson and Barry Darrell. These guys gave Pruitt a chance to allow Cleo Miller to get one block, have him turn up with no pursuit handling the play. You can see Henry Shepard's coming over trying to find somebody to block. They just cleaned out the whole right side. They've got a first down, and this game is keeping its flow.
At the Cleveland 47-yard line, Pruitt now 57 yards rushing. Pruitt is the I-back. Miller, first back through, quick opener. Back-to-back first down. 36-yard line of the Jets. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle. Defense for the Jets. On that front three, there's been a change at left end. Now, Greg Robinson has replaced Lawrence Pillars. Abdul Salam in the middle and Joe Klecko on the right side. Linebackers the same: Larry Keller, John Hennessy, Mark Merrill, Bob Martin. First down, Cleveland, New York 36. Greg Pruitt. He has 4 to the 32. Second down, 6. Larry Keller makes the tackle. The Jets secondary: Bobby Jackson, Ed Taylor on the corner, Schaefer Suggs, Burgess Owens at the safeties. 32-yard line of New York. Second down and 6.
This is the way Cleveland started out their first possession of the ball game. Keep the ball on the ground, get all the players warm, then we'll see what we can do.
Rucker wide to the far side. Dave Logan wide to the near side. Pruitt. Fumble. Picked off in the air by Cleo Miller. Cleveland retains possession.
Man, that's what you call having the wheels spin in your favor, because as that ball was fumbled in the air, there was only one man that could have grabbed it for the Browns, that being Miller. It popped straight up in the air. There were 3 or 4 Jets around. The brown shirts came down with it. Burgess Owens was in a great position to get the ball. It just bounced in the right spot, and they keep control.
And Joe Klecko and Abdul Salam were both shaken up on the play. It'll be third down and a couple officials timeout. Salam is coming out. Joe Pellegrini will replace him. Double tight end for the Cleveland Browns as Gary Paris comes in.
Yeah, they need Abdul in there. He is playing good football for them. He shut him down pretty well in the second quarter.
We'll try and get a report on the injury to Salam. Calvin Hill is in the backfield. 3rd down 2. Ozzie Newsome in motion. Calvin Hill carries. 1st down.
Tell you, they send Calvin Hill in on short yardage. However, you give credit to Tom DeLeon, Henry Shepard, Robert Jackson, the center of the line, just moved the center of the Jets defense back.
There's Salam, far sideline. Washington, Atlanta tied at halftime, 10-10.
Big game for both those teams.
Yes. Talk about playoff possibilities and wild card. Calvin Hill, 19-yard line. A gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle.
You know, I'm impressed the way Cleveland's coming after New York. It surprised me a little bit. You know, they're 7-7. Any chance at a wild card spot, and in this kind of weather, I think they've played as well as they've played all year offensively, and it's a hard thing to do in this kind of weather.
Calvin Hill, who has 15 yards and 5 carries, comes out. Greg Pruitt comes in, 2nd down 6. 19-yard line of New York, opening drive, second half. Browns lead at 17-10. Cleo Miller. Miller cuts back. Miller to the 5. 4-yard line. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle. It'll be 1st down, goal to go.
Offensively, they are really ripping the defense of the Jets apart up front. A guy like Cleo Miller and Pruitt, they can pick up yardage for you if you give them a crack. Their linemen have been doing that, forcing the defensive backs to cover. I mean, Burgess Owens is there to cover passes. When he has to make fine tackles to save touchdowns, their defense is hurting.
Just inside the 4-yard line of New York. 1st down, goal to go, Cleveland. Calvin Hill is back in the lineup. Fake to Hill. Sipe throws it up for grabs. Almost intercepted by Joe Klecko.
Bob Martin had nobody covering him. Just as Sipe turned around, Martin was standing right in his face, and Brian made an error. He tried to get rid of the ball to keep from losing 8 or 9 yards, lose their opportunity for their drive-scoring touchdown. When he did so, he threw it right into the defense of the Jets. They let a big opportunity get away. You can see Martin just getting away from the center, who has to pull, trying to get a piece.
Here is the almost interception by Klecko. 2nd down, goal to go. Rucker in motion. Miller. He may lose a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd down, goal to go. Bob Martin, very heady linebacker for the Jets.
And Mark Merrill was there at the right time again.
Well, the Cowboys continue to do it. They're tough.
I tell you, both Pittsburgh and Dallas are playing real well at the right time.
You like that matchup in the Super Bowl?
Well, no, I'm not picking.
Thought I'd ask.
There's too many cats still alive.
5-yard line, 3rd down, goal to go. This is the 10th play of the drive. Sipe. It is there.
I don't think he got it to him
Out
in
of
time.
bounds, out of the edge of the end zone. Dave Logan could not pull it in. There was a flag drop back at the 13-yard line. And Logan has yet to come out of the snowbank.
Hey, it's very icy up there. If it was soft, you could have lost him.
The pass is incomplete. We'll go back to the flag.
You know, even though the pass did go incomplete, it amazes me how receivers keep their attention on the ball as long as they do with the debris that surrounds the end zones in a lot of these parks. They come down hitting head first, all different kind of ways, but usually with the ball.
Holding against Cleveland, it is refused. Cockroft is in, field goal attempt. Cockroft in this ball game, from 39 yards out, had it blocked. 26 yards away, he made it. This will be an attempt of 22 yards. Logan to hold. It is good. Cockroft now has booted 2 field goals. The Browns lead the Jets 20 to 10. 9:51 left to go, third quarter.
The first thing you notice about the big shaver is that the handle is hollow, practically worthless. Bic put the money into their top quality bonded stainless steel blade. That's why Bic can charge only 19 3/4 cents a shaver. And each one gives you days and days of close, comfortable shaves. The Bic shaver, hollow handle, superior blade, incredible price.
Es muss nicht unbedingt ein Ford sein, das Beste aus ausolite Zündkerzen herauszuholen.
No tiene que ser un Ford. Para que usted obtenga el máximo rendimiento en las bujías, Autolite.
Autolite makes plugs for Fords, but they also make plugs for almost every car made, American or import.
Get the moonshine water
On Centennial, the West is torn by new tensions.
There's room for everyone. There was room for everyone.
Lynn Redgrave stars tonight on NBC.
The drive to the field goal took 5 minutes and 9 seconds of the third quarter.
Looks like a replay of the first quarter. They started out, kept the ball on the ground, did the same thing at the start of the second half.
Cockroft's kick is low. Clark Gaines picks it up at the 30. Gaines returns to the 43-yard line, where New York will move on offense.
Looked like a simple play by Gaines, but handling that ball that was going along the ground could very possibly have been worth about 20 to 25 yards.
Offense for the Jets. Matt Robinson, Scott Durkin, Kevin Long, that's the backfield. The receivers, Wesley Walker, Derek Gaffney, Jerome Barkham. Offensive line, Chris Ward, Randy Rasmussen, Joe Fields, Dan Alexander, and Marvin Powell. First down, Jets, their own 43-yard line. They're down by 10 points. Robinson throws. Walker drops it at the 41-yard line, and he was in the clear.
Hey, he has run the same pattern across the middle off play action or straight drop back passes 5 times. He's been open every time. Robinson's missed him once, hit him the other 4. He's dropped 2 and fumbled 1. Now that play is still there, but you must execute.
Second down 10. New York, their own 43. 9:40 left to go, third quarter. Kevin Long. He'll have 3 yards to the 46. It'll be third down 7. Earl Edwards makes the tackle. Here's the defense for Cleveland. Mike St. Clair, Earl Edwards, Jerry Shirk, Mac Mitchell, front 4. Linebackers, Charlie Hall, Dick Ambrose, Clay Matthews. Secondary, Ron Bolton, Oliver Davis, Tony Peters, Tom Darden. Bruce Harper replaces Scott Durkin in the Jet backfield. 3rd and 7. Robinson. Intercepted. Oliver Davis. We had to wait as he juggled it and juggled it and juggled it one more time. Gaffney was the intended receiver.
But he finally came down with it, and again, it was an execution problem. They're not quite together when it comes to executing. Gaffney was there. He overthrew him a little bit, and that's another costly turnover.
Hey, see y'all down the road, Jack. If you're going to move your family, you can save a lot of money by renting a truck. Moving yourself, and you might as well rent a real truck. A rider. Ride Dealer isn't famous for renting cars, beep, beep. Little trailers. Riders famous for trucks. Pro drivers will tell you that.
Okay, King of the Road. Just hold the lamp.
Ryder, the best truck money can rent.
A poem about deodorants. Roll, roll the roll-on, all sticky and wet. Or spray your underarms. What a fog you'll get. So give me the stick, Old Spice deodorant stick. It goes right to the spot. All wet or foggy it's not. It guards against odor the whole day long. With Old Spice freshness, you cannot go wrong. So goodbye roll-on, so long spray. Old Spice stick, it's the only way.
Deodorant or antiperspirant.
It moves, it glides, it swims, it flies, it scores, it soars, it leaps, it dives. Sports World, January 14th.
We mentioned execution problems. Clay Matthews is into his drop. Derek Gaffney makes a fine break, gets right in behind Matthews. Robinson lets go of the ball at just the proper time, but the wrong jersey. And they've got a 1st and 10 on their own 36-yard line with a 10-point lead, and that's important.
3 interceptions and a fumble recovery for the Cleveland defense. Browns with a first down, their own 36. They lead 20-10. Cleo Miller. He'll get a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down 8. Abdul Salam, who's back in the ball game, and Joe Klecko make the tackle. The Jet defense, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery. Turnovers are 4-2 in favor of Cleveland. 8:35, time remaining, 3rd quarter. This is Charlie Jones, John Brody. For those of you watching the New England game, welcome to our telecast. Understand there are some technical problems. We'll be updating you here. Cleveland leading the New York Jets 20-10. 8:15 time remaining. We're in the 3rd quarter. Browns have the ball. 2nd and 8, their own 38-yard line. Brian Sipe to throw. Pass is low. It'll be incomplete. Bring it back to the 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Dave Logan, the intended receiver. John, 1st quarter, to update those watching the other ball game, dominated by the Cleveland Browns. 2nd quarter, Jets got back in the ball game. Cleveland led at halftime 17-10, but the Browns started all again beginning of the 2nd half with ball control.
And they haven't been able to run the ball as effectively as they did in the 1st quarter, but still effective enough to put 3 points on the board. Brian Sipe has just come off with a play-action pass. He has people open when he's in a position to call those type passes. This is not one of those situations.
3rd down and 8. Keith Wright replaces Dave Logan as a wide receiver. Greg Pruitt slips. Extra burst of speed. Has the 1st down, but fumbles. Jets come up with a football.
I was not in a position to see it, but Greg Pruitt made a fine move. Got a bad break that time, actually, because when you get hit that close to the sideline, the ball generally pops out of bounds. I'll be looking at it for the first time, just as some of you, but
watch Joe Klecko.
And look at the people he has in front of him. Makes a good cut, goes to the outside, got about 3 yards left before the sideline enters into play. The ball stays there. Good break for the Jets.
Jets have the football. We'll be back in a moment.
I like pickles, but they don't like me.
Send your stomach some Digel.
I like pizza, but it doesn't like me.
Send your stomach some Digel.
Digel's special combination of antacid and anti-gas ingredients gives you fast, gentle relief from acid indigestion, heartburn, and gas in just minutes.
I like hot dogs, but they don't like me.
Send your stomach some Digel.
Is your Dodge Aspen looking better all the time?
Yes, it is. It's a well-engineered car from the wheel covers right on through the wood grain to the interior of the car. It's a very fine automobile with the feel of a much larger car and a more expensive car. And it's just a beautiful automobile. I'd recommend that car to anybody. That's a poor man's Cadillac.
Is your Dodge Aspen like this one?
Yes, pretty much so.
That's your Dodge?
That's my Dodge. It sure is. When I can keep it from the wife.
It's a classic rematch as the explosive Sooners of Oklahoma take on their powerful Big 8 rivals, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, in a spectacular Orange Bowl, New Year's Day on NBC.
Joe Klecko with a fumble recovery early in the ball game. He blocked a field goal attempt by Don Cockroft. Jets have the ball their own 49-yard line. Robinson has completed 8 of 19, but he has been intercepted 3 times. Pass is complete 35-yard line of Cleveland to the rookie Derek Gaffney.
Plenty of time for Robinson to allow Gaffney to get down there and make a good break behind the linebackers. Robinson puts the ball where it should be thrown. Gaffney knows there's a problem behind him and gets downward safe.
And again, for those of you watching the Buffalo-New England game, as soon as we work out the technical problems, we'll be switching that part of the network back to that ball game. Robinson drops it over the middle, incomplete. He was going to Jerome Barkham, the tight end.
It was a play-action situation, 1st and 10. Clarence Scott had very good coverage on Barkham. They've watched him a lot more closely today than I anticipated, Charlie. We haven't seen him a big part of the offense as he has been in the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Now, you mentioned at the top of the telecast that what makes Wesley Walker so great is Derek Gaffney and Jerome Barkham. Now, who do you select if you're going to put in double coverage?
Whoever I can find open, and it's going to vary throughout the game.
Yeah. Gaffney, 3 receptions, 39 yards thus far in the ball game. Robinson, he is clotheslined, and a flag goes down. 2 flags go down. Kevin Long goes out of bounds with the football, and Robinson was really clotheslined.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what happened. Earl Edwards had excellent surge. When you're trying to get a quarterback, you're trying to get any piece you can. You're about a foot taller than the man. As Earl gets in there, he sees Robinson move to the right. He just tries to get anything he can. He gets a hold of the face mask. It flies about 20 yards up the field. It's an unfortunate break. It's not an intentional roughness. It's just that you cannot grab that face mask. You're getting any piece you can when that quarterback's moving around back there. I don't know how Robinson got the ball off and completed it on top of that.
With the penalty, the ball goes inside the 13. Here's the call from the referee, Red Casher.
Personal foul, face mask, number 66, before the pass, 1st down.
It'll be a 1st down at the Cleveland 13-yard line. Now, in that case, the penalty is added to the end of the play. Complete pass to Kevin Long, then the penalty is added on, taking it to the 13-yard line of Cleveland. Jets trailing by 10. Scott Durkee. And pushing was Chris Ward. Pushing back was Mac Mitchell. Dick Ambrose made the tackle.
That pushing after the play doesn't cost much. And they had pretty good surge up front. 3 or 4 yards down there is all you need. Chris Ward got off well on the ball. It gets tough down there in the pit. If you can hold a defensive end up like he did Mac Mitchell, your back can make a few.
Now, Bruce Harper's in the backfield. He has caught Robinson's only touchdown pass in the ball game. 2nd down 6. Over the middle to Harper, incomplete. Threw it a little too hard.
Well, I think if Harper had another opportunity to look for it a little faster, he would have brought it down. However, just as he came out of his break, the ball was sitting in his face. He couldn't react to it. I think it was more a little early than a little hard.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
This is Charlie Jones, John Brody in Cleveland. Browns leading the Jets 20-10. 6:26 time remaining, 3rd quarter. Jets threaten. 3rd and 6. Browns 9-yard line. Barkham in motion. Robinson scrambles. Gets the pass off. It is intercepted. Dick Ambrose. 4th interception for the Cleveland Browns. Costly play.
Well, it's a costly play. Robinson got a lot of pressure just as the ball, as he was trying to throw originally. As he got out, he made the mistake that most young quarterbacks make. He knows it's a big situation. He's trying to make a big play out of a bad situation. You see 2 receivers running into the same area. Robinson really doesn't have anyone intended. He's trying to get rid of the ball, save a loss, kick a field goal. Ambrose comes up with an interception. Gaffney brings him down after a long return.
38 yards on the return. Cleveland has a first down. On their own 42-yard line, they lead by 10 points. 20-10, just over 6 minutes left to go, third quarter. Greg Pruitt. Pruitt to the 46-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6. Abdul Salam makes the tackle. Second half of the doubleheader this afternoon. It is excellent on NBC. Most of the nation will be watching the Oakland-Miami game. Now, those of you earlier watching the New England-Buffalo game, we're sorry. We're still working on those technical problems. To get cleared up, we'll be switching you back. Otherwise, stay here with us. By the way, it is still cold. Minus 10 degrees wind chill factor. Second and 6, Cleveland.
Reverse.
Sipe makes a pitch at the reverse. Newsome is tripped up. Good defensive play by Joe Klecko, and good call, John.
Well, Klecko, yeah, he made a good play. It's like the Jets know that Newsome's going to run a reverse, but it doesn't do him a whole lot of good because they don't know when he's going to run it. Sipe calls it at just the right time. They pick up 4 or 5 yards. They've got it 3rd down and 3 now, and Ozzie Newsome can run with the ball. He's a fine receiver, and I think as years go by, you'll see him being a real big personality for Cleveland.
In fact, on the year, 12 carries, 93 yards, including 2 touchdowns.
That's good.
Dallas continues to run away from Philadelphia. 3rd and 3. Pruitt. Excellent running, 43-yard line, first down.
He is really getting some help from all his people, his wide receivers, his backs, his linemen, and you give him an opportunity to get into the secondary just a little bit, and he's going to get the max.
87 yards for Greg. Field is frozen. Doesn't seem to bother him.
I think there are sections that are frozen, and I think there are others that are very workable. I think, I think he's got pretty good footing. Of course, he may be living in a different world, some of the moves I've seen him make, so maybe it doesn't affect him.
First down at the New York 43. Sipe to throw. Deep to Rucker. Has it. 8-yard line. Down at the 6-yard line. Play action on a first down.
And Rucker made one of the hardest catches to make. By the time you saw it on your screen, it was very easy to see. And it looked like an easy catch, but Sipe was actually throwing the ball down the field. Rucker was looking toward the middle. It went over his right shoulder. He turned all the way around and made it look like an easy catch.
Rucker, 4th reception, 75 yards.
Well, if we have this one, Kenny Edmondson, if you pick this up, he's our producer. You'll be able to see here. Okay, now you see Rucker come out of that pivot, and that is a hard catch because you're turning away from where the ball's coming from. He puts him in great position.
Kenny and John Gonzalez, our director. Don't worry about that score. We've got a big one here. Calvin Hill, decked at the 5-yard line. We'll be updating those scores in a moment, but right now, this could be the ball game in a playoff spot.
You know, it is important. New England getting beat 17-7 by Buffalo, but this position right now is the biggest goal line stand that New York has had all year. They've worked their tails off to get in a position where late in the season they have a chance. Now they're in a situation where 2 of their top linebackers are hurt. Salam has had his bell rung, and they really have to suck it up.
There's an update on the Buffalo-New England score in third quarter. Here it is, 2nd down, goal to go. Calvin Hill, Miller with a block. Hill cuts behind him, back pedals to about the 3, maybe the 2.
See, they can give up 3. That keeps them within 2 touchdowns. If they give up 6, they've got to make 2 touchdowns and a field goal. That really makes it tough.
They'll spot it at the 2-yard line. 3rd down, goal to go. What do you like here?
Well, I haven't been in their pregame strategy meetings, and I think I'll leave this problem up to Brian. I've looked to the bench for help in this situation before, but it never seems to be available.
Calvin Hill has been the key man in this situation, number 35.
Look at
Fake
this.
to Calvin.
Oh, no.
But a flag is down.
Little bootleg, John. There was nobody in the house anywhere near Sipe. I don't know what the call is, but it's a very important one.
It is against the Jets.
All right, we're talking, that's the sort of thing that you don't really plan. You go in the huddle and your tackle says, hey, they're in a goal line situation. You may have talked it over with Deacon. You may have talked it over with Shepard, who play the left side. He says, hey, now. The guy says, now. That's what you get when you're calling your own plays. That's the sort of information that I always thought separated the real fine quarterbacks from the also-rans. Brian's timing has been excellent in the last 4 games as to when to call what, and that was just another example.
26-10 Cleveland. Here's the extra point. 58 yards of the drive, 7 plays. Sipe's 3rd touchdown of the season. It is good. It is Cleveland 27, the New York Jets 10, with 1:18 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Owens Corning built this glass house so you can see all the places insulation can save money, new home or old. Your attic. In severe climates, you may need insulating power up to R38, a foot of pink Owens Corning fiberglass. Another place to insulate. Floors over unheated garages or crawl spaces, and walls exposed to cold or heat. Want to know about insulation? Ask the experts. Ask Owens Corning.
When I was a kid, I loved to play with cars and trucks, too. Like this computer racer and truck from Radio Shack. It's a great gift idea, and it's bound to be a hit with the kids. Now, they come with changeable cams for 6 different driving maneuvers. Action-packed fun, battery-powered safe. And they're gift priced. Radio Shack truck, $5.99, and the racer, just $4.99. Exciting gifts that never fail to please. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
The division-leading Pittsburgh Steelers take on the tough Denver Broncos as the race to the Super Bowl goes down to the wire. It all starts with NFL 78 next Saturday on NBC.
He was the only Jet fan in the stadium until we turned the camera around and 2 friends joined him.
I tell you, that's a loyal pal when he comes all the way from New York to Cleveland to sit in -10.
Darnell Powell, Bruce Harper, the deep backs, Cockroft to kick off. Bruce Harper, 9-yard line, 50, 20, 25, returns to the 29-yard line where New York will move on offense. Randy Rich makes the tackle. John, update us on that New England Buffalo situation.
Well, I'll tell you, this is an upset. New England is not out of it. They've come back from situations worse than that before. They've got a real tough one next week. Everybody knows that. They figure to win this week. They've got a little over a quarter to pick up a 10-point deficit. Terry Miller just ran it in from 31 yards, 17-7.
Just over 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter, last scoring report we have on that ball game. Robinson. Pass is knocked away. Stripped beautifully. Barkham, the intended receiver, and Clarence Scott just stripped him. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Thus far in the ball game, Cleveland has had the ball on offense almost 28 minutes. The Jets, 16 minutes.
And it was pretty even starting the 3rd quarter, Charlie. They have just dominated this period.
Cleveland 27, the New York Jets 10. Just over a minute left in the 3rd quarter. 5 men in the secondary as the linebacker comes out, 2nd and 10. Robinson sends 5 on the pattern, and he is sacked by Jerry Shirk. 3rd sack of the ball game of the Cleveland Browns.
Funny how the flow dictates a lot of the play. Cleveland's defensive front line is putting a lot more pressure on Robinson. The situation dictates he throws the ball. Shirk and Edwards are putting a lot of pressure up the middle.
Back at the 21-yard line, it'll be 3rd down and 19. And if you need 19 yards, you have to go to Wesley Walker. And the Cleveland Browns know that as well as anybody.
Now, can they stop it?
Overthrown. Trying to drop it off to Bruce Harper. It'll be 4th and 19, and Chuck Ramsey will come into punt.
Here we go.
Here comes New England. Grogan scoring on the ground from 4 yards out. Buffalo 17, the Patriots 14. A minute and a half left to go there in the third quarter in that ball game. We still have some technical problems up there for those of you watching that ball game earlier. As soon as we can work it out, we'll be getting back to you and we'll keep you updated. Keith Wright is set to return the punt of Chuck Ramsey. Boy, he is an excellent punt returner. Short kick. Taken at the 50 on the dead run. 6 yards on the return. Cleveland has the ball at the New York 44-yard line. Derek Gaffney. No, it was Kevin Bell who made the tackle. The punt of 29 yards.
And I do not think you'll see Sipe let up at all. I don't think he's going to try to control the ball any other way than he feels best he can. I think he'll go up with play-action passes, try to get as many points on the board.
At the end of the first half, he kept throwing.
Yeah, I think he's filed that old strategy routine.
4 o'clock ball games, Eastern time, second half of the doubleheader. Most of the nation, Oakland at Miami with what's going on this afternoon. Buffalo leading New England, Cleveland leading the Jets. Who knows what'll happen in Miami? You'll find out on NBC this afternoon.
Are the 49ers definitely out?
I'm not sure if anybody is definitely out anymore. Greg Pruitt carries. I thought perhaps today would clear up the situation, the way things are going. I'm not so sure. 17 seconds left to go in the quarter. Injury timeout for the Jets. By the way, Friday was the anniversary of our producer and his lovely bride, Cynthia. And speaking of nuptials, we're losing Mike Weissman from Bachelorhood. He and the lovely Carol are getting married this afternoon.
I think it's about time. Mike made a good choice, and I'm sure they'll be happy. In fact, he's up there right now.
Yes, that's right. Just about this time. Oh, she's a doll. Lovely lady. It is Abdul Salam, the injured player. Second time in the ball game that he has been shaken up. The line of scrimmage marked at the 41-yard line. When play resumes, it will be 2nd down and 7. Next Saturday, the Steelers and the Denver Broncos, and on NFL 78, endangered species, the American-style place kicker. You know, Jim Turner, straight ahead, Don Cockroft, straight ahead. We're losing those. And also the greatest of the great and Paul Warfield will be featured. Pittsburgh and Denver will be the ball game. Joe Pellegrini replacing Abdul Salam, who's being assisted to the far side.
I'll tell you, and he got a pretty good lick when he got taken off early. He sucked it up. He's done a fine job. He's had a fine year, and I hope it's nothing serious.
Clock now moving towards the end of the third quarter. Greg Pruitt, 91 yards rushing and 16 carries thus far. There's the gun. 3 are in the book. 1 remains. Cleveland 27, the Jets 10. Get one right quick, and in a moment I'll give you that address again. John?
Well, that's Jim Schaffner talking it over with Sam Ratigliano. Schaffner is the quarterback coach. I happened to play for him for 8 years. He was the biggest single help I had as a coach. And you know he's helped Brian Sipe.
2nd and 7, Cleo Miller, the ball carrier. 37-yard line, he picks up 4. And it will be 3rd down and 3. Bob Martin makes the tackle. Now, here is that address. Tax-deductible contribution. U.S. Olympics, Post Office Box 1980C, as in Charlie. Cathedral Station, Boston, Massachusetts. It is cold. 02118. 3rd down 3. Pruitt in motion. Screen to Pruitt. Shy of the first down. Gains a couple. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle.
You can hear the crowd saying, go, go, go.
There's the third quarter statistics. Again, time of possession, the key stat.
And they had a big edge in the third quarter. They had it over 10 minutes, I know. And here we go. They're going 4th and 1.
36,881 on hand. Wind chill factor still -10. That's the reason for the crowd being so sparse. 4th and 1. If they run, they'll go over the left side. Like I said, Calvin Hill goes to the right side, fumbles. Jets come up with a football. I thought they'd go behind Deacon and Shepard. They went to the other side, John.
I have no criticism of the call, but the one big break that New York needs at this time is some sort of a turnover. They got the ball with good field position. There's still over 13 minutes to play in the game. They need 2 touchdowns and a field goal to tie. They've come from farther behind this year, and I think there's a good chance they might.
We'll take a timeout. Cleveland leads it 27-10.
Here we have a 1979 Dodge Omni with front-wheel drive, handy hatchback at the start of another day. Watch. There's a whole family taking off. Well, here comes Mom back, changing her duds. Let's see, she's putting plants at the upstairs windows. Nice job, Mom. Hey, Dad's home. Whoops, he's off again with his little leaguers. Back home again. Hope they won.
The new Dodge Omni does it all.
That's my Dodge.
Now, with this extraordinary cast of stars, one of the most colorful and romantic legends of modern times comes to the screen. Because only now could a story of such power, adventure, and excitement be shown. Superman is now the movie. You will believe a man can fly. Rated PG. Opening at theaters December 15th.
Nobody offers Super Saver discount fares to so much of this land as United. United built the largest airline in the free world around you.
Just a moment ago, Abdul Salam, knee injury. He has gone into the locker room. Jets have the ball on their own 36-yard line, first down. Trailing by 17 points. Robinson throws. Jerome Barkham hangs on to the football close to the first down. Oliver Davis decked him.
And boy, is that a tough situation to hang on to the football with. He's an outstanding tight end, but that is really putting him to the test. Oliver Davis had a deadbeat on him. And here we have another one that throws a few things into a turmoil.
Yes.
Minnesota lost yesterday. However, it looks like Green Bay's giving them another shot. Chicago just before the end of the first half, 7-0.
That was Barkham's first reception of the ball game. Robinson fires on target, 38-yard line. Wesley Walker, Cleveland territory. Flag is down, holding against New York, so bring it back.
They need the kind of execution that they got from 2 of their players, but they don't need any breaks to go against them now if they're going to get back in the game. Regardless of the penalty, Wesley Walker made a very smart play. Twice earlier in the ball game, that same pattern was open. Started running with it before he brought it down. This time he made sure he got it and got to the ground quick.
Holding number 79 on the offense.
Holding on Marvin Powell. It'll be 2nd and 11. Back at the New York 35. Gaffney goes wide to the far side. Walker wide to the near side. Robinson's pass is complete. Near the 45-yard line as he goes to Scott Durking coming out of the backfield. Ron Bolton with a tackle.
And Durking knew right where the first down was. He tried to bowl over the defender, but it's the sign of a good back. It's one thing to be able to catch the ball. It's another thing to know how many yards you need to get a first down, get your group back in the game.
Buffalo 17, New England 14. That game now in the fourth quarter. We're in the fourth quarter, 12-10, time remaining. Cleveland leading the Jets 27-10. Robinson has completed 12 of 27, 130 yards. But he has been intercepted 4 times. That's the bottom line. Should be a first down for Scott Durking. it is. Here are the standings in the East as we started the afternoon. New England, if they can pull this off, they trail Buffalo. They will then be in the playoffs. And if this game gets out of hand here, our network, part of our network could go away to that game. We just want to alert you to that fact depending on what happens here. New York for their own 47, first down. Bruce Harper. He has 4 yards to the Cleveland 49. Second down, 6. Moving on the 11-minute mark, time remaining in the ballgame.
I think they're in a position where they realize time is becoming a factor. I don't think you'll see them punt no matter what they do on fourth down from now on throughout the game. They have to get 2 touchdowns and at least a field goal to get back.
Second and 6. Robinson's in trouble. He throws. It is tipped incomplete. Kevin Long couldn't pull it down. Third down and 6 back at the 49-yard line. John, from a quarterback standpoint, do your hands get colder in a ball game like this? Can you keep them warm? Is it hard to have a touch, a feel?
I think while you're playing the ball game, sure, they're very cold, and the ball seems to be very hard. And there are some problems, but the situation is so important that it takes precedence.
Third down, 6. Robinson barely gets it off. Pass is complete. Bruce Harper, first down. He's to the 30, 25, 20. 10. Inside the 5-yard line. Bruce Harper.
That is some kind of play, both by Robinson, who was hit just as he threw the ball, and by Harper, who made about 30 extra yards on the play. Geez, that guy can run. He's made 3 or 4 big runs on kickoffs. Let's go back and take a look. Pretty good rush put on by the defensive front 4 of Cleveland. St. Clair gets in there. Mac Mitchell hits him just as he throws the ball. He still has enough on it to hit Harper. And this is a pretty good move around Oliver Davis. Then he just outruns Clay Matthews, picks up a block from Wesley Walker, and turns it into an outstanding play, and they've got it on the 5.
A gain of 44 yards. First down, goal to go. Kevin Long. He gets a yard to the 4. It'll be second down and goal to go. Giants leading St. Louis 17-0. 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter of that ball game. Second down, goal to go. Robinson rolling, firing, sidearms it into the end zone for a touchdown. Mickey Shuler.
Mickey Shuler was a very big target. There was nobody between Robinson and Shuler except the goal line stripe. Robinson put it the one place he had to throw it. You can see in your screen perfectly. Not a lot of room, but enough to get it in.
The big play, of course, the pass to Bruce Harper, 44 yards to the 5-yard line. Here's the extra point attempt by Pat Leahy. That, by the way, was Shuler's first reception of the ball game. Extra point is good. So now with 9:12 remaining in the game, the Jets have pulled within 10 points.
If you'd like to put less in here, put this in here. This is the Pennzoil that saves gasoline. New Pennzoil PZL. Special friction reducers and Pennzoil PZL help your car go farther on a gallon of gas. And it's an extended life oil, so you can go farther between oil changes, too. New Pennzoil PZL, the Pennzoil that saves gasoline and oil changes. And you know what? That can save you money.
I may have a bar in my office, but Lawson has a Sony.
Darn. I thought they were going to give me a Sony.
Most people feel very special about Sony Trinitron Color TVs, probably because Sony Trinitron Color TVs are very special. You see, it's not just a TV, it's a Sony.
Dad, I have a date coming over tonight. Can I borrow the Sony?
The story of Harriet Tubman, slave and freedom fighter.
Maybe I'll make enough money one day to buy us all our freedom.
A Woman Called Moses, Monday.
Charlie Jones, John Brody, 9-12 left. The onside kick now?
Personally, I don't. They might.
No, they don't. They go deep. Keith Wright on the return. Fumble. The Jets come up with a football.
I'll tell you, there's just something about 15 rookies on a team. I don't know if they did get the turnover. The Jets think they did.
The Jets have given the signals. The officials have not.
And they're still fighting for it.
They say Cleveland has the football and the Jets are protesting. Oh, my. Here we go.
Charlie, what happens is oftentimes the officials can't get into a good position on a pile-up ball, and the guy at the bottom of the pile just keeps stroking for it. Now, the Jets feel that they had control of it when it was on the ground. The only man the officials saw with it was Keith Wright at the end. Cleveland still got possession.
So once again, an official controversy strikes the National Football League on Sunday
Well, I don't know
afternoon.
that that's so. In other words, the official can call what he sees. He can't be on top of the laces of the ball when it's fumbled. Everybody in this game knows when you get control of that baby, you better hang on.
It was Ken Stroy who thought that he had the fumble recovery. It belongs to the Cleveland Browns. They have a first down on their own 33-yard line.
Let's take another look. They're hoping for another big break. They get it when the ball is bobbled. Now, if anybody can tell who's going to get this ball, I'll put in with them.
All right. Cleveland leads by 10 points. 9:03 left to go in the game. Cleo Miller near the first down. Bobby Jackson makes the tackle. It is now New England 21-17 over Buffalo. Horace Ivory.
Horace Ivory's been a big play back for them all year. He and Andy Johnson have complemented each other very well throughout the year. New England has the ability to score points from anywhere. They've come back from 10 down. They're now 4 up, and I'll tell you, New England doesn't seem to want to quit either.
No, and if they win this afternoon, they are in the playoff, definitely. Cleo Miller, 54 yards and 8 carries in the ball game. And here he comes again. He's got the first down. Now the Browns staying on the ground. Now they're using the clock.
Well, they have to get a bit strategic at this time, all right? They got a little on top of themselves, going for 4th and 1 down there on the 35-yard line. At that time, I thought it was a great play because they can keep control of the ball, and if New York can't get it, they can't score. At this point, they got to play it just a little bit cagey, I do believe.
First down, Cleveland, their own 46-yard line. Greg Pruitt, he'll lose a yard on the play. Larry Keller makes the tackle. And it'll be 2nd down and 11.
Okay, little pitch out. Greg Pruitt at his best. Cleo Miller's done an excellent job of blocking for him all day, and you see his guards have been pulling very well. He doesn't really get through. Larry Keller stops it up, contains the whole play before it gets started, and the pursuit picks it up.
And Pruitt has 89 yards on the afternoon. 2nd and 11. 6:56 clock is moving. Time remaining in the game. Sipe to throw. Deep to Logan. Knocked away. Excellent defensive coverage. Burgess Owens and Ed Taylor. I believe it was Taylor who went over the back.
You bet. And Logan had excellent attention on the ball, too, Charlie. Oftentimes, you'll see a receiver get in between two defenders, and it's very hard to keep your attention on the ball. Sipe throws the ball about the only place it can be caught. Logan has to come up with a big one. But watch, after everyone's going down, now his eyes or on the ball, and he almost got it.
3rd down, 11. Dave Logan, in his 3rd year out of Colorado, is number 3 draft choice in '76. Greg Pruitt. He picks up 4. Cleveland will be kicking as Burgess Owens makes the tackle. And Johnny Evans will be punting for the first time in the ball game. His average on the year is 38.8. He's been getting some static. He's not punting as well as they thought that he would.
Well, he's been a good kicker in the past, and, you know, that punting the ball depends on several different factors, and they feel he will be a good one, and I agree.
Good snap from Jerry Sullivan. He gets it up. It's a beauty. Harper from the 9-yard line. Bruce to the 15, 20. Returns about the 24-yard line as Johnny Evans got off a super kick. On a cold afternoon, he sailed it 41 yards. We'll take a timeout. 5:55 remaining. 27-17. Cleveland leads it.
Polaroid's one step, simplest camera in the world. You don't even worry about batteries.
Lifetime batteries?
No, they don't put a battery in it.
It doesn't need one.
Of course it needs one.
So far, your camera won't work.
The battery's built into the film pack. You get fresh power every time you load. Only Polaroid has it. You get this brilliant color in minutes.
Pretty. But I don't see a battery.
It's not in the film, it's in the film pack.
I don't think you know where it is.
Get a one step.
Stanley Power Lock rules are the best-selling tape rules in America, and we keep making them better. Our latest innovation is the 1-inch wide blade. It's wider, so it stays rigid up to 7 feet. Now, one person can do jobs that used to take 2, and the new safety return brings the blade back slower and smoother. A 1-inch wide power lock. It lets you do it yourself all by yourself.
We want to help you do things right.
Buy either of these inch-wide power lock rules, and Stanley will send you a keychain rule free.
The granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, pits the Trojans of USC against the Wolverines of Michigan in a battle of perennial football powers. New Year's Day on NBC.
NBC.
5 minutes, 55 seconds left to go in the ball game. Big one, Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all, USC. Another of my alma maters. They're in every bowl game against Michigan. You'll be there, John, on Rose Bowl Day with Kurt Gowdy and O.J. Simpson, I understand. Pass is complete, 40-yard line. 42-yard line for the Jets. Wesley Walker on the receiving end. Oliver Davis down.
And you saw the frustration on Tom Darden's reaction, throwing both hands in the air. That play has been open 6 or 7 times that they've called it today. He would like to play it tighter, but he knows, hey, folks, I better not mess around in there.
Walker, 4 receptions, 66 yards. Jets first down, their own 42. Robinson drops this one off. Pass is complete. Kevin Long. And he is out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Charlie Hall was there. Gain of 4, second down 6.
Charlie Hall made a good play, Charlie, because you know, Robinson never did give away that he was coming over to Long until he threw it. And he hit him on the dead run, and that's a tough play for a linebacker to make.
5 minutes, 13 seconds, time remaining in the game. Cleveland leads by 10. Robinson with 5 on the pattern, drills it, pass is complete. First down. Derek Gaffney. Gaffney to the 24-yard line. Oliver Davis makes the tackle.
And I tell you, Robinson throws the ball very well in between linebackers. His receivers seem to read where they're supposed to be well, too. Both Gaffney and Walker have found their way in between linebackers. It's not always as easy as it looks. Look at the good passing lane Robinson is given. Has no problem hitting Gaffney, and he picks up a big one.
4:42, time remaining. Just inside the 25-yard line. High pass over the head of Gaffney. Now, was that intentional? Was he stopping the clock?
No, he wasn't stopping the clock. He was trying to hit him, and he really wasn't open. Hall played the play very well, got in the throwing lane, When you do that, a quarterback just sees a picture, reacts to it, and throws the ball out of bounds, if he's doing the right thing.
Both ball clubs have 3 timeouts remaining. The ball just barely inside the 25-yard line. Don't forget, second half of the doubleheader this afternoon. We'll be going there right after this. Oakland and Miami. Most of the nation to see that ball game. Second down and 10. Robinson drills it into coverage. It is caught at the 20-yard line. And that is Scott Durking. Clay Matthews was all over him at the 20.
Right, but Robinson is a very accurate thrower with a strong arm, and you give him enough time, he can throw it in the only place that a receiver could catch it.
Third down and 5. 20-yard line of Cleveland. This drive started back at the Jet 25-yard line. This is the 6th play of the drive. 3:58 on the clock. Robinson fires over the middle. Pass is complete. Bruce Harper scores. Jets are now within 4 with the extra point yet to come.
That little man has made some big plays this afternoon. He's turned little 5-yard gains into big gainers. He's turned a few into touchdowns. He is having himself one day getting the Jets back in this ball game. Watch that. Robinson hits him right on the break as he beats Clay Matthews slightly. Matthews gives him a little bump and right into the end zone. And this is a big extra point too, Charlie.
It is up, and it is good. So the New York Jets pull within 3 of the Cleveland Browns with 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining.
Okay, Atari, let's see your best pitch.
You're out, Rose.
I quit soccer to play Atari.
You need more practice, Haley.
You can't keep me in here, Atari.
The Atari video computer system is 20 cartridges with 1,300 game variations you play on your own TV set. Don't watch television tonight. Play it.
40 years ago, these 4-wheel drive Dodge trucks helped America do a really tough job. This year, the Dodge 4-wheel drive Power Wagons will do more tough jobs than ever with standard full-time 4-wheel drive that costs extra on Ford and Chevy. And the W150 has the lowest price of any short wheelbase 4-wheel drive pickup built in America. Dodge Power Wagons doing America's toughest jobs for more than 40 years.
Dodge is into trucking, like America's into jeans.
Hey, that's my Dodge.
As we look to the Cleveland Browns, look at this. Here's an update. Buffalo back in front of New England by 3.
You gotta predict this is the way it's going to be. Joe Ferguson, a fine quarterback, hasn't been able to get his own group into playoffs, and it's an onside kick, and New York Jets have got the ball.
It goes the required 10 yards, and Ken Troy comes up with a football. We were wondering if they would try it now. I thought it was too soon, John.
Well, I think that both Cleveland and New York had the feeling that, hey, we might go for it. It was the bounce of the ball that dictated the turnover. It bounced up as soon as it got about the 48-yard line. The ball took a big bounce in the air, and the Jets recovered. That's what you hope for.
At the Cleveland 46-yard line, the Jets have the ball first down. Robinson has completed 19 of 37 for 258 yards. Gaffney, 70 yards receiving. Walker, 66. Harper, 67. Durking, 27. It is low. It is incomplete. It'll be second down and 10. Now, keep in mind that Pat Leahy has hit this year from 47 yards out.
That would mean they have to pick up 10 yards. One first down would put them in field goal position. However, I'm going to be very surprised if they try to go for anything like a field goal from 47 yards out. It's too cold. He made one from 45, but I think they're going to try and get it a little bit farther down the field. Well, that's obvious.
All right. Second and 10. Jets trailing by 3. Dropped over the middle. Pass is complete. Scott Durking. Durking to the 31-yard line. Now that's right on the edge of what we were talking about.
Yards, pal.
Yeah. It's right there, and it's a first down.
Lots of time to play.
3 minutes, 18 seconds. Clock is moving.
And the momentum has shifted.
Old Mo keeps moving around in the cold this afternoon. Robinson fires on target. It is then dropped. They will rule it incomplete. Gaffney, the intended receiver, the officials say he did not have possession. Close call.
It's a judgment call, and he can see it better than I can up here because Gaffney's back was to me. He got a good lick just after Robinson hit him with the ball. Looks like a clean reception there.
Looks like possession.
Tom Darden belted him about as hard as a man can be belted coming across the middle.
Second down and 10 at the Cleveland 31-yard line. Robinson has also been intercepted 4 times. Second and 10. Flags are down. Gaffney out of bounds.
And Jerome Barkham just missed the signal. He was trying to get in to pick up a possible blitz. He came out of his slot position, tried to get back to help his tackle. As he did so, the ball was snapped. It's a 5-yard penalty against the Jets, and a very big one.
.252 left to go. Illegal motion against the Jets. They'll take the penalty back to the 36-yard line.
Illegal motion, number 81 on the offense.
They called it on Gaffney.
Well, I just misread the number. It was still a man from the slot position trying to get in and help pick up.
Or maybe they misread the number. I'll go with you, John.
It doesn't matter. They're 5 yards farther back, and that does.
Second and 15. Officials timeout. And now they mark the ball. That's Gaffney. No,
this was Gaffney on the previous play, and he was not the culprit.
No, officials called 81. You were right. It was 83 Barker. Second down, 15. 2:52 left to go. Browns leading by 3. Robinson throws. Bruce Harper. He has been everywhere. Clay Matthews stops him.
I'll tell you, Clay Matthews has fine physical ability, but handling a Bruce Harper one-on-one like they've been in a position of having to do several times today. They've got to cover their wide receivers and their tight end. Their backs are having a good day on the linebackers. Matt Robinson waits as long as he can, comes to Harper, and he picks up a gigantic 12, 14 yards. It's now 3rd and 1.
At the 22-yard line, Harper, 4 receptions, 81 yards. Well within field goal range of Pat Leahy. 2:46 remaining in the game. Robinson throws. It is incomplete. Walker could not pull it down.
I think one thing's clear, Charlie. The Jets are not going for the tie right yet. 3rd down and 1 yard to go. They were trying to pick up the cheese.
Here's Pat Leahy. Leahy is 1 for 1 in this ball game, hitting from 45 yards out. This is for a tie at the 2:41 mark.
Okay, I'll tell you, it's not second-guessing, but I'll give you a little piece of viewpoint. I would have gone for a first down on the ground. The reason why, even if they kick a field goal, Cleveland's got 2:41 left to score.
39 yards away. It is good, and we are tied. Pat Leahy from 39 yards out, 27-27.
Okay, now, Dees, you better hang in there. You gave them a chance to get back in the game. They took advantage of it. You definitely have momentum going your way, but there's a whole lot of football left with 2:36.
There is the tie. And we are looking at overtime possibilities, obviously. you onside kick now? No. I don't know. We said that the last time.
I'll tell you, I think they're going to go down there and put their defense to the test.
Don't forget the 4 o'clock ball games. Kansas City at Denver, Houston, New Orleans, Seattle, San Diego, Oakland at Miami. Oakland, Miami, the big one, but all 3 of the other games loom just as large as we try and straighten out the wild card situation, because almost everybody's involved. (27-27), the Jets and the Browns.
Funny how it all turned around after that 1 4th and 1 yard to go break with about 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Leahy kicks it off. Goes out of bounds. That'll be 5 yards, and you'll bring it back. Going into the 4th quarter, Cleveland led 27-10. And now it is 27-27. And Leahy is explaining what happened on the kickoff. He went out of bounds, Coach. That's what he did.
He shanked it. It was not an intended onside. I know that. He has hit 3 or 2 very timely field goals today.
Larry Collins and Keith Wright are the 2 deep backs on the return. That is now a final. The Giants defeat St. Louis 17-0. Sam Rutigliano, the head coach of the Browns. And across the way, Walt Michaels, the head coach of the New York Jets. 2 minutes left to go in the Buffalo-New England game. Buffalo has just recovered a New England fumble. Boy, what a season this has been. Picked up at the 17 by Keith Wright, to the 20. Fumble! Jets have the ball! They will score! No!
Oh, he did not score, but what a saving tackle!
Darnell Powell! Oh, boy!
I mean, when you're supposed to win, I guess things are just destined to go that way. Somehow you just can't shut these Jets off.
They have fought back from adversity all season long. Now they have the ball at the 8-yard line of Cleveland. Darnell Powell picked off the fumble in the air. I thought he would score.
Well, he would have had there not been a great saving tackle. I didn't get a chance to see the number of the men on the special teams who got him.
We'll come back to that. We'll save it. Here's Kevin Long. Oh, he gets a couple of the sacks. Now we'll go back to the replay.
Earl Edwards made a big stop. Let's take another look. All right. Keith Wright trying to make a big play for his own group. The ball goes over to Powell. We see somebody coming down the line.
Number 23.
Larry Collins.
Yes. Now the 2-minute warning will be given to both ball clubs.
That's when it's bouncing just the right way if you have a white jersey.
27-27. Second and goal for the Jets.
You want to start something?
You want to start something?
You want to start something? Start using Rayovac heavy-duty supercells. Better than ordinary batteries, because the long life formula keeps going long after ordinary batteries are dead. Can last more than 2 times longer. The life chart proves it. So if you want to start something, start using Rayovac heavy-duty supercell.
Get something started with Rayovac.
Harry and I have colds. Harry took NyQuil, Vicks nighttime colds medicine. He's feeling much better. I took a cold capsule. Cleared my stuffy head, but I'm still coughing. Look at him. He took NyQuil. My throat's still scratchy. Look at him resting. I'm still achy and wide awake. He took the best years of my life. From now on, I'm taking his NyQuil.
NyQuil. Get the relief you need when you need it most.
This is Charlie Jones, John Brody. Turnovers are even. Score is even. But the Jets have the ball. Second and goal at the 6-yard line. Kevin Long to about the 1. Third down and goal to go. A reminder that both ball clubs still have 3 timeouts remaining. 1:40. Clock is moving. Time remaining. Darnell Powell, the man who picked off the fumble in the air. Oh, is he ever happy.
This goes to show you when you get a group of people thinking nobody can beat them, all sorts of funny things happen.
Kevin Long is the remaining back. Robinson was falling down. Long still scores. That is the 10th touchdown of the year for Kevin Long. The Jets now lead 33-27. First time in the ball game that New York has been in front. 1:16 left.
And there's still plenty of time for the Brownies. They're a very dejected group right now, however. You can see as Robinson comes out, he stumbles. Kevin Long does a good job of getting the handoff and a better one of eluding a tackle.
Extra point is good. It is 34 for New York and 27 for Cleveland.
This is the second time, Charlie, that the Jets have come from this kind of a deficit. They did the same thing to Denver about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it seemed to turn their whole season around for them. And once you've done it one time, it's hard to remove the feeling you can do it again.
And don't forget NFL football next Saturday. We'll start it off 3:30 Eastern time with NFL 78, Endangered Species and the Greatest of the Great with Paul Warfield, followed by the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos. And don't forget at 4 o'clock this afternoon, the second half of the doubleheader here on NBC. Bruce Harper for the New York Jets has 16 yards rushing, 81 yards receiving, 97 yards total offense, and all at crucial time.
And it doesn't matter whether you get it at the line of scrimmage or on punts or kickoffs. When you pick up close to 200 yards for one afternoon's work, you are moving the ball.
And in addition, a pair of touchdowns. Pat Leahy to kick off. 1:16 left in the ball game. Larry Collins on the return. Collins to the 27-yard line. So Cleveland will now go to work from their own 27-yard line. First down, 73 yards away from a touchdown that they must have to tie to take us into overtime. It is now 24-23, scored on a safety. Buffalo took it voluntarily. Rusty Jackson ran out of the end zone. 1:48 left to go in that ball game. Brian Sipe goes to work. Far side. Pass to Dave Logan. No, it's to Calvin Hill, excuse me, number 35, coming out of the backfield. Bob Martin was there for the defense. Officials will spot the ball. 34-yard line. Second down and 3. 49 seconds remaining. Sipe throws. This one is to Greg Pruitt. He comes out of bounds. That stops the clock. 42 seconds. Now remember, Cleveland has 3 timeouts remaining. John Brody has left the booth. He's working his way down to the field. We have an interview possibility. Officials spot the ball at the Cleveland 38-yard line. First down. Next Sunday, the Jets will be home at Shea Stadium. They will be hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Cleveland will be at Cincinnati. Quick reminder, today's telecast was produced by Kenneth Edmondson, directed by John Gonzalez. Arnold Rand, our technical director. John Filippelli, our associate director. Pass is over the head of Calvin Hill. It'll be second down and 10. Bob Martin had the coverage. 37 seconds left in the ball game. So we will try and update you on everything during the last 37 seconds and Cleveland timeouts, because as soon as the game is over, we'll be leaving you very quickly. Brian Sipe has completed 17 of 29 for 220 yards. The New York Jets trailing throughout the afternoon, turn it around in the fourth quarter. Sipe goes deep. It is there, 44-yard line of New York to Dave Logan. And now Cleveland will take a timeout. It will be a first down for Cleveland at just inside the Jet 45-yard line. Bobby Jackson makes the tackle. A pickup of 19 yards on the play. And we have 29 seconds left to go in the ball game. Pittsburgh, as you know, has won the Central Division. New England playing Buffalo. If they finally win that ball game that is ever so close this afternoon, they will clinch the division. Denver playing Kansas City. If they win, they can clinch the division. Houston at New Orleans, Miami hosting Oakland. They must win the next two. The Jets, Cleveland, Seattle, San Diego, and Oakland all in the picture. A loss here by Cleveland could take the Browns out of playoff contention. The Jets still hang on the edge of the playoff picture. Brian Sipe from San Diego State, number 3 passer. In the AFC this afternoon, becoming the 6th Cleveland quarterback to join the 7,000-yard club. 29 seconds left. Sam Rutigliano, the rookie head coach of the Browns, pacing the sideline. Cleveland needs a touchdown and an extra point in 29 seconds to put us into overtime. Sipe throws. Pruitt has it. Pruitt, 18-yard line of the Jets. Cleveland stops the clock. They have 1 timeout remaining. Reggie Grant made the tackle. 20 seconds left in the ball game. And what an afternoon Greg Pruitt has had. Extremely cold. Wind chill factor of -10. Pruitt, 5 receptions, 66 yards. 18 carries, 94 yards rushing. One timeout for the Cleveland Browns. The crowd a little on the sparse side this afternoon, just over 38,000 due to the inclement weather. But it is not cold to Walt Michaels. He played for the Cleveland Browns for 10 years as he sweats it out on the far sideline. The line of scrimmage will be the 18-yard line of the Jets. Brian Sipe has 20 seconds remaining in the game. Rucker wide to the far side. Logan wide to the near side. Sipe under pressure. End zone. Calvin Hill, touchdown. Now the Browns need only the extra point to tie. We've got 14 seconds left. Sipe to Hill. The second touchdown of the afternoon for Calvin Hill. His first was on the ground. "73 yards in 5 plays. Cockroft with the extra point attempt. It is up. It's there. We're tied 34-34. 14 seconds left to go. Brian Sipe has now completed 20 of 32 passes 282 yards, and here it is again. For Calvin Hill, his 7th touchdown of the year and his 6th receiving. Perfect pass by Brian Sipe. Cleveland 34 and the Jets 34. Field goal by New England. They lead by 2. Dave Posey, 21-yard field goal. New England 26. Buffalo 24. 8 seconds left in that ball game. On that drive, Sipe completed 5 of 6 passes. (34-34) with 14 seconds left to go. Bruce Harper and Darnell Powell are deep. Don Cockroft, who tied it up with the extra point, kicks off. Mickey Shuler. Shuler goes out of bounds with 10 seconds left in the game. Tom London, the free agent from North Carolina State, was chasing it. And John Hey, John, welcome back. How was it on the sideline?
Feeling, what did we say? It's 1:16 left?
Yes.
All right, both teams have thrown the ball all over the field. If you think you can get back in a football game, you can. It's one of the most unreal football games I've ever seen, pal.
Jets ball their own 43-yard line. 10 seconds. And they have 3 timeouts. That updates everything. Robinson drops it off. Markham goes out of bounds. 5 seconds on the clock.
I do not think, Charlie, that right now with 5 seconds remaining, they can get the ball far enough down the field to be able to stop it even if they get out of bounds and still be able to kick a field goal. So I do think this is the last play.
So you just go long, you throw it up for grabs, and hope that something happens down around the goal line.
I think that's their best shot.
Gaffney is wide to the near side. Wesley Walker wide to the far side. Incomplete. It is incomplete at the 36-yard line. 1 second left in the 4th quarter. Markham, the intended receiver. The Jets scoring 10 points in the 2nd quarter and 24 points in the 4th quarter. Cleveland 7 in the 1st, 10 in the 2nd, 10 in the 3rd, and 7 in the 4th. Robinson hitting 22 of 44 passes for 289 yards in the ballgame. 3rd down, last play of the 4th quarter. They run a draw.
Somebody
Bruce Harper.
better get him.
Harper to the 20-yard line. What a ball game he has had. He almost broke it on the last play of the 4th quarter.
And now we're getting ready to have another game.
32 yards for Bruce Harper. That's the end of the 4th quarter. 34-34. And we'll be back with overtime. Well, we're going to stay with overtime.
Joe Costanza, how many yards did Bruce Harper get today? Because he has done it all.
We'll have the toss of the coin, then we'll go away for the commercial. Cleveland wins it. Cleveland wins it, they'll receive. We'll count up all of the yardage of Bruce Harper and have that for you when we get back.
The big thing is that now that now the team with the ball first is liable to score.
At the end of regulation play, it is tied 34-34. We'll return with sudden death after these messages from your local station.
The story of Harriet Tubman, slave and freedom fighter.
Maybe I'll make enough money one day to buy a saw light.
Hey, good buddies, this here's Big Ben telling you all about Hess Toy Trucks.
What a mighty toy.
Come on, get a Hess truck for your little girl or boy. Lights that shine on in the night.
What a mighty toy.
They got lights that really shine and a hose that really moves, all fully assembled for $249, including an ever-ready battery for the lights. They're at sparkling, clean Hess gasoline stations now.
The $1.98 Beauty Show, Tuesday night at 7:30.
This is Charlie Jones, John Brody. Overtime, Cleveland, the New York Jets tied 34-34. Browns win the toss. They'll receive. Keith Wright is deep, and look who's with him. That's Greg Pruitt.
You bet it's no time to put your stars on the bench.
Pat Leahy will be kicking off. Quick update on Bruce Harper of the Jets. Total yardage, everything, 256. Rushing, receiving, kickoff returns, punt returns. It is high and short, and Pruitt takes it on the dead run. Pruitt to the 45. Pruitt to the 50, the Jet 49-yard line.
All right, a lot of times the coach won't do that. He won't even think of it in a situation like that. Sam Retigliano kept his head. Says, Greg, let's go get him, big fella. And he took that baby on a dead run and almost broke loose of everybody. But he does have great field position. Watch this. It's not easy to catch the ball coming in on it that fast. He does, breaks the wedge, gets a little hole, and gets the ball over the 50-yard stripe down to the 49-yard line.
Cleveland at the Jet, 49, first down. And the man that got them there, number 34, Greg Pruitt. He's the I-back. Miller's the up-back. Pruitt. 5 yards. Second down, 5. That is a final. New England finally pulls it out. They are in the playoffs.
I tell you, it's unbelievable what's happening today. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen on one day 2 games that were as critical for 2 teams as New England and also the Jets end up the way that one did in New England, and this one is no lollygag itself.
Dave Posey kicked a 21-yard field goal with 8 seconds to go in that ball game for the victory. With this play, Greg Pruitt is over 100 yards for the 4th time this year. 31-yard line, flirting with field goal range. Bobby Jackson, Burgess Owens make the tackle.
I think it's safe to say that since the ball was kicked off from the 35-yard line, Greg Pruitt has taken the ball and is individually responsible for getting it all the way down to the Jet 31.
And you saw number 65, Henry Shepard, as a convoy. New York 31-yard line, first down. 112 yards for Greg Pruitt rushing in the ballgame. Pruitt again. Squirms loose. He's to the 20. He's to the 10. 6-yard line. Overtime, color it, Greg Pruitt.
I mean, that's 4 times he's had his hands on the ball. They've got it at the 6. He made a great catch in a very critical situation with 20 seconds left down on the sideline to give him a chance to tie it. He's just been too much in the last minute.
Bobby Jackson saved the touchdown, and Pruitt comes off the field.
All right, this is a play that looks pretty well bottled up. He's supposed to lead Cleo Miller. He cuts back, just gets away from Keller. In great position, almost breaks it all away. Reggie Rucker trying to give him some help.
First down goal to go, 6-yard line. Calvin Hill and Cleo Miller are the running backs. Sipe wants a timeout.
And if you notice the cagey way he went from underneath the center, he didn't want to jerk anybody offside. He just very slowly pulled his hands away, made sure nobody jumped, calls timeout, goes over to talk with Schaffner and Retigliano, and we've got a homer.
Turned 5 yards rushing, 13 yards rushing, 25 yards rushing. That's his contribution. Cleo Miller.
They've opted to go for the field goal on second down. I couldn't agree more, if only to help Cockroft out. You stand around thinking about the importance of something, it makes it a whole lot harder to do it.
Cockroft today is 2 for 3 from 26 yards out, 22 yards out. You going back down to the field, John? All right. From 39 yards out, it was blocked by Joe Klecko. This run from the 12-yard line, an attempt of 22 yards, and the win for the Cleveland Browns. It is up. It is good. Cleveland wins in overtime. 37 to 34. 11:53 on the timer. That converts to 3:07 into overtime. Final score, Cleveland 37, Jets 34. This is Charlie Jones, John Brody. Most of you will see the second half of our doubleheader following messages from your local stations. The folks in New York, you will see the Sperry NFL Report.
Shields and Yarnell host a fantasy tour on the Walt Disney World Christmas Special tonight.
You're witnessing an incredible demonstration of how easy it is to use the automatic Minolta XG7. At 125 miles an hour, you don't have time to fiddle with camera settings. Just focus and shoot for professional quality 35mm pictures. Even changing lenses takes seconds. If they can just focus and shoot for great pictures up there, you know the Minolta XG7's got to be a snap to use down here.
I've seen what the new cars have to sell, but I'm not sold. Toyota, what have you got?
The Celica experience. The 1979 Toyota Celica GT liftback. The beauty of a dynamic 2.2-liter engine. The beauty of a smooth as silk 5-speed overdrive transmission.
Toyota, you have got it.
You ask for it, you got it, Toyota.
In transportation, you're never more than a few feet away from a product of ITW.
The Scarborough Cafferty Report tomorrow night at 6.
Trailing the Jets 34-27 in Cleveland, 14 seconds left. Brian Sipe stems the Jets' comeback, going back to pass, hitting Father Time of the Cleveland Browns, Calvin Hill. They tie it in the overtime. Don Cockroft wins it, and the Jets' playoff hopes are dealt a severe blow. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brian Dumble. Mike Adamley is in our highlight center, and this is the Sperry NFL Report, brought to you by Sperry Rand Corporation, whose commitment to the future is making machines do more so man can do more. Cleveland and the Jets, it wound up one of the best ball games of the year. The Browns carried a 27-10 lead into the fourth period. The Jets came up with 24 points to take a 34-27 lead. But as you just saw, Sipe to Hill brought it even. Cockroft with a 22-yard field goal made it 37-34. It was a barn burner. Mike Adamley, you were watching it from start to finish. Whale up a ball game, buddy. Matt Robinson had a bad first half, a bad 3 quarters, but he came back when they needed him.
Boy, he wound up with about 24 completions. It looked like one of those old AFL games where Hadel was throwing it up against Darryl LaMonica, and you are right. The Browns dominated the thing. For most of the 3 quarters, Brian Sipe, who went on to become the Browns' leading leader in pass completions, made it 14-0 with this pass to Greg Pruitt over linebacker Hennessy. But the Jets came back to make it 17-10, narrow the gap to 17-10 when Robinson ducks the pressure and hits Bruce Harper in the end zone with Ambrose draped all over him. It was 17-10. Sipe made it 20-24-10 when he rolled the naked bootleg, and that's the way the third quarter ended. But the Jets came back. Robinson rolls to his left, finds Mickey Shuler from Penn State in the end zone, and that was 27-17. In the fourth quarter, Robinson went back to pass, and he found Bruce Harper. Nice job by Harper. Carries Davis into the end zone. 27-24. Keith Wright, number 89, he's been a bright spot for the Browns all year, but he's going to fumble here. Number 20, Darnell Powell, bounces right in his arm. He goes all the way down to about the 7-yard line. And one play later, Kevin Long scored, or 2 plays later, and it looked like the only thing that was going to stop the Jets was Heidi. But they were tough, and Greg Pruitt took back the opening kickoff of the overtime period about to midfield. He carried 2 more plays, got the Browns in field goal position, and you know the rest of the story.